But one thing that I think that he's done a work on in both of us is a sense of identity, right? Like, because mine was largely wrapped up in my childhood experience. It was wrapped up in how I had to kind of, I think a lot of us, we shape our identity based off of our experiences, our circumstances, the people around us, our surroundings, our family, the culture, whatever it is. And we tell ourselves, this is who I am because of this is where I am. And that's not actually true, right? Like, where you are, the people you have around you, whatever it is, that doesn't define who you are. Even the things that you've gone through doesn't define who you are. And I know for you, for a while, like especially before this car accident, you had kind of found your identity in being a fitness instructor, right? What you do, but there was a shift that took place. Um, you know, what comes to mind as I mention this in your life? Like, talk to that for a little bit.
About finding my identity in that.
Yeah, and well, finding your identity in Christ versus
Oh,
what were some of the problems that you find? I mean, now that you're on the other side of this,
yeah.
what problems were created from you finding your identity in being a fitness instructor?
Yeah. So I will tell you, when I first started, like, I obviously knew that I wanted to teach it in churches and different communities, like
Yeah,
at women's conferences. Like, that's what I felt like I wanted to do with it when I
for
became
sure.
certified, and in gyms, obviously, as well. But I remember when I started, there was one woman who said to me, like, I don't know that you're going to be able to do this. Like, you don't get the steps right away, like when I teach you. And I had a really great friend who became my
What?
mentor, and she's actually on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel. Her name is Tara Romano, and Tara was like, no, she told the other lady, she's like, I'll take her. Do whatever you're going to
Gotta
do. I
love
got
those
this.
friends.
And because I would go to Tara's class to learn, because like I said, she has like a YouTube channel, and she was like really amazing. She's the one who
Yeah,
encouraged me to start a YouTube channel, which, getting back
yeah,
into that, of course,
yeah,
because I have a great mentor like you.
yeah.
So Tara was just like, you can do this. And so she would comfortably stick me in front of her class. And it was hard, because when someone's like, I don't think you can ever do this, like, that's a really tough thing to say to someone who just got a certification, like, and
Yeah,
so
give
I
them
was
some
like,
slack,
well,
man. Encouragement, encouragement.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, well, you may not think I can do this, but God told me to do this. So there's like that difference, right? And so
Yep.
thankfully, God brought me Tara, and Tara taught me how to come out of my shell too,
Yeah,
and go
yeah,
around the room when I teach. Not every instructor does that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, not every instructor
They like
moves around
stay
the
in
room.
one space and like
Yeah.
that's their bubble.
Right. So, and Tara would like move around the room once, everyone is situated in their steps. And so she taught me to do that. And so that's kind of what I did. But anyhow, so I worked really hard to become it being a fitness instructor and a personal trainer. Like I said in the beginning, somebody told me I couldn't do it, and I knew
Yeah.
I was supposed to do it. I even threw up on my first, right before I taught my first class, like all the nerves and everything. There was nothing left in my stomach when I taught at a women's conference. Right before I went up.
Yeah.
So I hope you got some laughs in the comments. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, but yeah, so it was hard, because like I was like, all right, well, now people recognize me as being good at what I do because I worked really hard. But at the same time, like, it was like I was a Christian and I knew I was doing it for God, but sometimes you get so wrapped up in that
Yep. Yep.
that I wouldn't say that God wasn't important. He was,
Yeah.
but I just didn't realize how much being a fitness instructor and good at what I did and a personal trainer became just as important, when
Yeah.
that's not
Ooh.
why God gave me that
Yeah,
ability in the
yeah.
first
That's
place.
it's not supposed to be matched with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is something that everybody does to some degree, and you have to reconcile that thing back to God. Like I know for me, it was very easy to put fitness first, especially when it became an occupation for me. And I think a lot of folks deal with that. You know, God gives us gifts. God gives us ability. He gives us, the opportunity to use those gifts, and then sometimes that opportunity takes precedence over Him. And I think there's a lot of reasons why that's problematic, but it really shows up when you can't do the thing that
Mm.
you've now made a part of your identity, because it's like, but I can't do this, so who am I? You know, the cool thing about finding your identity in Christ, and realizing that your identity is in Christ, not even just thinking it or believing it or wanting to believe it, but the reality that your identity is in Christ is that no matter what happens to you, no matter where you are, no matter what's going on, you remain who you are and you get to exercise who you are, right? Like you get to stand your ground as who you are, because your identity being wrapped up in Christ is not necessarily based on, you know, whether or not you can do one thing. It's everything that you do, you exercise your identity in Christ.